Let's go back to ADOS because there's a point that I want to make about it from the onset.
Okay.
Well, first in the report, the first thing that got my ears ringing, and again I'm looking at this from a communications lens, is words. And Maya Angelou told us words mean things and they get into you, right? And so we look at the word American descendants of slavery. Number one, that is a complete erasure of who we are as human beings in America, as who we are as a people. We cannot and do not descend from slavery. Never have and never will. Slavery is a condition that was put on our ancestors that they fought and freed themselves from. Slavery is not our lineage. Our lineage started way before slavery. And if you can get us to think that our lineage began with enslavement, not only began with enslavement, but that it is slavery, what we actually do is buy into the very same racist notions and ideas of racists and people that promote eugenics.
Yes.
Because eugenicists, they believe that they used blackness and tried to shape it in their racist scientist ideals that we were inferior, therefore making slavery okay, that they were actually doing us a favor. So if we're going to now acquiesce to that and say, I have no history, all those kingdoms and civilizations that I built didn't exist, I just come from slavery. What are we saying about ourselves, and how disgraceful is that to our ancestors to completely erase everything that they built? Do you know the longest running black institution in the United States of America? The AME Church, the African Methodist Episcopal Church. And why is it named that? Because our ancestors knew who they were in America. Richard Allen paid to free himself. And him, along with Absalom Jones, created the Free African Society and the African Methodist Episcopal Church. They weren't walking around calling themselves slavery. They would never do that. They got out of slavery and they called themselves Africans because it is a way to condition yourself, to a way to position yourself historically in the world. If you're trying to cut off Africa, what you end up doing is cutting off major components of who you are and your lineage and heritage that you can go back, like in Sankofa, go back and fetch it, learn from it in order to move forward. We can't do that if we cut off our whole lineage. If we start our lineage at just a few centuries ago in bondage, that actually plays into eugenics, and we should never do that.
Let me ask you, do you think that the ADOS movement positioned that because they wanted to limit the amount, or make it just be economics, saying that people who were enslaved in America, that would mean that they would get more money instead of it being spread out if there was reparations that was given?
That is what is being said, that it's about a justice claim.
Okay.
And my response to that is, if we need a term that is very specific for this specific justice claim, there is one that already existed. It's descendants of Africans that were enslaved in the United States. Deus, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
Descendants of Africans enslaved in the United States. Why does that matter? Because again, it tells us who we are, it tells us what we went through, but it is not our totality of our existence. It still maintains our humanity, and it says what happened to us in order to position it within that specific justice claim.
So you think, well, your research has proven that rather than get on board with ADOS, which would make sense, that there was an ulterior motive.
Yes.
Okay.